Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taking the Leap. I'm just waiting a minute until Tami, my guest today, jumps on. So we're going to give it a second and invite Tami to come on up, and then wait for about a second. Hello, Tami. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hello, how are you, Karen?
I'm great. I think
Are we
we're
good
going to
like
give it.
that?
What?
Is the frame good like that?
Yeah, it looks
Perfect.
good. You're looking good. So we're going to give it a minute until some folks jump on, and then go from there.
Absolutely.
Makes me think of the water.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Every day I go, I take a picture and I come back, and every day it's different. Every day.
That's what's amazing about nature, right?
So
Even
beautiful.
if you go to the same spot every single day, it's going to look different,
Yeah.
which is great. So we'll start the conversation in a couple of minutes, or actually in 1 minute, at 2 o'clock, and go from there. So this is recording, and anyone that's jumping on, we welcome you, and we're looking forward to a great conversation.
I'm trying to. Okay.
All right. So, welcome to Taking the Leap. And if you've never joined us before, Taking the Leap is all about conversations with women who've created their dream business and changed their life. And they've done all of that at age 40 or older. And
Older.
older, yes. And many of us are older than age 40. But what's great about it is it's a little bit of an insight into where they've been, and where they've come from and where they're going, and how much they have to contribute, because we all have so much, and the impact that they can make on women who really want to take this leap but haven't. They're just they need that little nudge. They need a role model. They need to see what someone else has done before them. So we all need that. We all need to see who's come before us in order to take that leap. And so I'm really excited today to have Tami Muller here. And I actually met Tami through a colleague and a really good friend. They both have attended the same program. And she introduced me. And so welcome. And I'm hoping that you can tell us have a little bit of an inkling of where you are because of your background, but you can tell us a little bit about your background, where you're living, and what were you doing prior to taking the leap?
Oh, okay. So, hi, I'm Tami, and yes, I'm from Israel. You can tell by my accent, right? Living in the United States for 30 years, actually. I live in
Mm-hmm.
Miami, in Surfside, Miami Beach. And as you can see, I love the ocean, as you can see
Uh-huh.
behind me. And I graduated from a master's degree in business and economics from Tel Aviv University. And my entire life, I was in the entrepreneurial world. So I was an entrepreneur. I was business development, sales management, marketing, everything that for many,
Mm-hmm.
many years. Um, until one day, shall I do that until one day?
Until one day you woke
Until one
up,
day.
and
So,
but you were working, you had a company that was, am I correct that you
yes.
worked at a family business for a long time?
Right. So I started back in Israel at the age of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend Irit Perlman, we were the first party planners in Israel.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so we were very entrepreneurial and it was a great business. And then life took me here. I came to the United States with my husband and my eldest son. He was 6 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a family business. My father started a business for environmental cleanup. And we joined the business. My father passed away when he was 59. And this is also, I would say, the first thing that actually had me thinking. Because before that, everything was, perfect. I never
Uh-huh.
thought about anything. Never thought about why am I here or any big questions of life. But when you
Mm-hmm.
face something like that, that a person talks to you and a minute later he's not there anymore, then you start thinking, what is it about? Why are we
Right.
here? And all these thoughts started coming to me, when I
Hmm.
started reading a lot and learning a lot, but still I knew that I needed to do something, but I still didn't do anything.
So that was sort of the beginning of your inspiration to start thinking about taking action. And then what was the next step? What really inspired you to move forward and take that action?
So years later, and I know it's another funeral, but it just happened like that. So years later, I was in a funeral here in the community, and they were talking about this person. I don't even remember who it was, but I remember people were saying how he changed their lives and how he touched so many people's lives. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what are they going to say about me? That I was an amazing marketeer, that I was a great salesperson.
Hmm.
No. And then I knew that I needed to make an impact, that there's something more, that we want to help people,
Hmm.
and I've always been a happy person inside me. Okay. But I didn't really do anything special for it. I was just like that. And then I started looking and searching, and a very good friend of mine told me, why don't you go and learn how to be a happiness coach? And I'm like,
What's a
what?
happiness coach, right?
What? A happiness coach? And then I started looking, and I came across, Happiness Studies Academy and
Hmm.
Dr. Talbot Shachar, and I started the certificate program. And I think the first time I listened to him, I realized that everything I've done my entire life has a name and has a science, and there are tools that explain this, and I can explain it to other people, and I
Hmm.
can actually make an impact doing that. And this is when I completely
So that was
changed.
definitely one of the keys to how you started to make that transition. And is
Yes.
that program, the Happiness Studies Academy, is that part of Harvard, or was that a program that was out of Harvard, or
No,
how
it
did
was
that work?
okay. So Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar was a professor in Harvard, and his course in Harvard was, I think, the most attended in the history of Harvard. It was
Hmm.
about positive psychology, leadership, and after that, he opened his own, co-founded his own academy, which is the Happiness Studies Academy, that
Hmm.
teaches happiness, which is an interdisciplinary science. It's all science-based. So the course was very, very interesting, just really deep. And I think it's the first time that I enjoyed studying. And I have
Hmm.
a master's degree, and I have so many other. I never liked it. I mean, I did it because, my father told me I had to, and everybody
Right,
said,
right. It was all those had tos and shoulds and
yes,
all of
I
that.
never enjoyed it. But this one, I just loved every minute of it. I enjoyed. And then I took another certificate as a positive psychology coach. So now I'm holding both. And this is when I really changed, my everyday life changed.
How long is the program?
The program is 1 year.
Hmm. And you
And
meet monthly or weekly, or was it,
it's
was it intensive or?
it's an online program that you do in your own pace. It's
Hmm.
once a week. And I remember asking him, can't I just, because I'm a redhead. So I'm like, can I finish it in 2 months? I have time. And he
Right.
said, no, no, you need to take the time to assimilate what you learn. We don't just learn it here. We need to start changing. We need to start creating new habits in our lives. And this takes time.
Hmm.
So it has to take that year, to really assimilate what you learn. So once a week, there is a 1 hour that
Hmm.
is divided into four shorter sessions that you study by yourself. I take notes. Then you have some work that you can do. You can do as much as you want or as little as you want. Then we have, it was bi-weekly, now it's a weekly webinar that we actually meet and talk and ask questions.
Hmm. So
And
you didn't really, so you actually did that completely on your own. It wasn't like interactive with other people when you actually did that, right?
no, by my own, on my own.
And so once you were certified, so now you had this inspiration, right, to figure out what you wanted and how you could impact other people.
Yeah,
And so what were the keys though while you were in that sort of transition mode? Were there keys that said, this is something I really want to practice, or was it just, oh, this is interesting to learn, or did you realize this is something you want to pass on to other people?
absolutely. I really wanted to pass it to other people because I realized that, for example, using your strength. This is one
Mm-hmm.
thing that you learn in positive psychology. As a kid, I knew how to do it, just because it was natural to me. Okay, that you should work with your strength, with what you're good at. And a lot of people, they don't do it. They do the exact opposite. They think they have to concentrate on what they're not good at. So things like that, they give you tools, and it's all science-based.
Hmm.
So it's not just think good, it will be good, it feels good to be happy.
It's not sort of woo
No, no,
kind of
no, no,
spiritual kind of
no. It's not.
information.
You're not hugging trees. It's really science-based. No hugging
Hmm.
trees. Sometimes I do.
Yeah,
So, right, it helps.
exactly. So, all right. So you learned how to do it, and now, and is that what you're doing now? Is that your main focus in the world?
Yeah. So now I have two main focuses. So this is my main focus is to teach.
Uh-huh.
I give courses and workshops, and I talk about happiness. And the other main focus is when I graduated, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm certified now. What do I do with
Right.
all this? How do I pass it on to so many people in the world that can really benefit from it? And I
Hmm.
realized that there was something missing. And this is when I approached Dr. Tal Ben Shahar and his partner, and I said, we need to create a community. We need to create a club for people that want to stay in the conversation, that want to be with people that are like-minded. And I started that club. It was
Was that pre-COVID, or that was during COVID, or?
this was no during COVID. Everything was during COVID. I remember that I started to study, and I said to myself, when COVID is over, I will have a new profession.
So you actually started during COVID.
I
So it's
started.
pretty
No, I
recent.
started
It's within
before.
the last 2 years.
I started before, but during COVID, I took also the other certification on. So during COVID, I doubled my learning, but I started before. I think I started in 2019 or
Uh-huh.
2018.
Do you think that I mean, it's been a challenging couple of years for everybody. Do you feel like, people were really searching for that happiness? Do you think were
Yes.
more people signing up? I mean, is it more popular now, or, are more people practicing it also as a trainer?
So yes to all these questions. So first of all, I think people need it more because we're looking for resilience. This is the word today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happier people are more resilient, and we need to build our immune system psychologically and physically.
Mm-hmm.
So learning about happiness really improves your ability to face challenges. It's not that you're not going to have challenges. You will, right? But it will be easier for you to overcome them. So today they don't only talk about resilience, they talk about actually about anti-fragility, which means you grow even higher from crisis. So this was one thing, and people had the time, they had nothing better to do.
Right.
So thank God for Zoom. We used to say
Right.
that relationships through Zoom are not the same,
They're not real. It's not like real, but they are
but
real.
they are real. They
Right.
are real. And they know today that you, even when they check the hormone level, when you do Zoom with a friend, you still have all those benefits. Of course, it's nicer to sit and drink coffee together,
Sure.
right?
Well, you're missing some of the senses. I mean, honestly,
Of course.
but I mean, I think, as it goes, that's better than nothing, right?
You know, we have in our group today in the club, in the HSA club, we
Uh-huh.
have people from all over the world. I mean, I have people from India and from Europe and from China and from everywhere. How else would we be able to
You
do it?
wouldn't. And is that connection, I mean, is it as popular? I mean, is it more popular here in the US as a concept, or is it just worldwide and people are really sort of latching onto it all over the world?
All over the world. I can tell you that in Israel, for example, people are very geared towards companies are doing a lot of the wellness and happiness training. I also did some, in Israel for companies for
Mm-hmm.
startups. I think that they are much more aware than here in the United States, even though it's coming here also. And
Mm-hmm.
people all over the world feel the need, the community, the need to be more real, more authentic, more vulnerable. This is all a part of what we're looking for.
Right. So what's the size of the community that you've already started to build? And I think you're doing a conference around it. And,
Yeah.
what's your goals with it?
So the conference is actually Wahasu, doesn't belong to us. We participate.
Mm-hmm.
Wahasu is the World Happiness Summit in Miami every year in the University of Miami. And they
Mm-hmm.
bring speakers from everywhere in the world to speak about happiness. So this year, I know Martin Seligman is going to be there. Dr. Tal Ben Shahar is going to speak. It's a 3-day web
Wow.
conference in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And on those days, we also have the Happiness Studies Academy is doing our own retreat. So we have our community, that we really want to see each other and hug each other and talk.
Because you haven't really met in person.
No.
For the most part.
Some of them I did, and some of them I didn't, but we feel like we're family because, we are so close to each other. So we can't wait. We have 2 days together to celebrate. And from here, I know that we're going to grow everywhere in the world. We're going to open chapters, local chapters of, we call it the Happiness Revolution in Action. So we give tools to take this happiness revolution all over the world.
And so if someone could have given you some ideas or advice or just, some piece of knowledge before or while you were on this journey, what would you have wished they had shared with you? And what would you want to share with other people when they start out on, it's not about being a happiness trainer. It's about how do you change your life? What would you say to them?
First of all, I would say to them, be prepared that everybody will have something to say, right? Everybody will have something to say.
Everyone will have an opinion of whether you should do it or you shouldn't do it,
But some will be really cynical about it, which is, like for me, it was almost like, coming out. All of a sudden, I was always with a suit, with the high heels, with a business development. And all of a sudden, I talk about happiness. People look at me as if I really lost my mind.
Yeah.
Right? So some people are going to be very cynical and say, oh, you're in the happiness, So be prepared to that people will have something to say.
Do they think it was just temporary and you were in this phase of
Right. Yeah. You're going to change your mind again, but no. So this is one thing, to be prepared to go with what you want and with what you believe in, with what you're good at and what you like to do. Because when we talk about working with strengths, like we study at the Happiness Studies Academy, you have performance strength and you have passion strength. And they don't always overlap. So, for example, I was very good in business. I was very good in real estate. I didn't like it, right? And there are other things that I really love, and I'm not good at them, like dancing. So if you can find something that you are good at, and that you love to do, just go with it.
So well, you've got those circles, right? So, and there's one more circle, which is there has to be a need. And people have to want what you're also offering. So you've got what you love to do, what you're good at doing, and then also, do people want that?
This is really ikigai. So
it is ikigai, exactly, right? And that it is the intersection of those circles that brings
There's
it together.
Another one. For the ikigai is also the one that you can make a living out of. So if you can find something you're good at,
where you can get paid to do it,
the world needs, and you can make a living, you're never working, you're an ikigai. So. So we all have to go there, even though people will have something to say, that's okay. So this is the one thing. The second, if somebody told me that I could enjoy to work as much as I do now, I would have done it a long time ago.
So you're enjoying passing it on. And is there a certain part of it that you love most? Is it because most of the training you've done virtually, right? You haven't really done it in person. Right. Do you feel like it's going to make a difference? Do you want to go out there and meet these people and do it in person, or you're okay to do it either way, right?
I would love to do it in person. And right now I'm starting to give, face-to-face lectures that I actually can feel the people. But for me, it's the aha moment that somebody has. When they come to me and they say, I never thought about it like that. I never thought that happiness is really the cause and not the result. That when you're happy, you are healthier. When you're happier, you're going to have better relationship, not the other way around. For example, connection between happiness and success, gratitude, all kinds of things that we teach are, when somebody has this aha moment, I love it. It makes my day. Yesterday I had, and
you feel it, right? It's internal. You know that you can feel that aha moment, right?
Yes, I can feel it. And they tell me also, but I can feel it. I see in their eyes that they do that.
Right.
Yeah. I know that it has, they were thinking about it. And there's nothing new. It's not like a big science. There's nothing new. We all know these things. It's really focusing and putting them in everyday life, because, happiness is not being, happiness is doing. So a lot of things you need to wake up in the morning and you need to do in order to be happy. So this is really...
And
That's what I love about it.
do you find yourself saying, "Oh, I'm happy today," or is it just it's just the sort of the state that you're in, right? It's not like you're consciously thinking, "Oh, I'm happy." It's just
No,
you're enjoying the day. You're enjoying what you're doing. You're enjoying the people that you're with.
yeah, it's really the, I never thought about I want to be happy or I don't want to be happy. It was never something that really bothered me. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I know inside, deep inside, that I have a lot of joy, and even though I had some, we all did, right? We went through
Sure.
difficult experiences, and I still always feel inside that I'm happy. And I remember when my mother was sick, and I was with her, and before, and I remember thinking, how can you cry every day, and still feel some type of happiness inside? It's a
And
deeper
not feel guilty.
joy.
Like it's okay to feel that happiness, right?
That's a major, big part of what we teach is the permission to be human, which is to allow yourself to feel painful emotions, but also to allow yourself to feel happiness. It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's okay. A lot of people feel guilty, or they feel I don't deserve
Mm-hmm.
it, or if I say that I'm happy, it's going to be taken away from me. We all have this, the
Right, right.
no, it's okay.
So as women, and we're thinking about changing our careers, right? That whole concept of change is really difficult, right? And it is about giving ourselves permission to take that leap, to say, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And I might not get what I want, I might fail, but I'm going to try. And to feel okay about trying. I mean, I think, that's a huge lesson. And to know that you're not going to just do it and it's a straight line, and you're not going to just do it and it's going to be perfect every time, that and you're not always going to be happy every day when you're doing it.
Of
I
course.
mean, you're going to have challenges, but from each of those challenges, I think if you can find the good in it, as you said, then be grateful for the good and the learning and the to have that gratitude, just so that you can get to the next step or the next level, is huge.
Absolutely. And you really need to embrace, nobody loves to fail. Okay. Don't misunderstand me. I do not love to
Right,
fail.
right. It's
When I
not
had
fun.
my first Zoom and the internet didn't work and everything was like, I was really flabbergasted. I did not like it at all.
Right,
But you learn from it. How else would I know how to do live on Instagram now with you?
right.
So what I'm saying is we need to embrace failure. We need to learn from it. Otherwise, I mean, think about it. How does a baby learn how to walk?
They fall down many times, right?
And if we didn't let our kids fall down and we just hold them and say,
You
oh,
can't protect them that way, right? Exactly.
so this is a major part of the learning, is to be able to fail. And Brené Brown, she talks a lot about it, and about the men in the arena. The speech, the famous
Mm-hmm.
Roosevelt speech that said, if you fail, at least you failed while daring greatly. And I think
Right.
this is a really something that I teach and I live. Take the chance. Okay, so what? So you fail. I mean, think about you, Karen. I mean, who would you love more? Somebody who would fail and be vulnerable, or somebody who would they would never crack right?
Oh,
The
for sure,
marble.
100%. The person that went for it, and you know what? And they learned and they tried again, and you know what? It's okay. I mean, it's harder for me to deal with friends who aren't willing to even try.
I agree.
And and shame on me, because I think everybody's part of this discussion is around everybody takes that leap in a different way. Some take really baby steps. It could take them 5 years, 10 years. It could take them 5 years to decide that they're willing to take that leap, and that's okay.
It took me
There's no
25 years.
judgment. I mean, there's no judgment, but there are other people that say, oh, you know what, I have this idea, I'm going to just jump in, and 2 weeks later they're doing it. And, yes, I relate to that person a little bit better, because I would try that. I would like, okay, I'm going to jump in. But the bottom line is that everybody does it differently, and everyone has a different process. And part of these discussions is to actually learn the process that everybody has, because everyone is going to take something away from that process. And if they can walk away and say, that's okay. It might take me a year, or it might take me 6 months, or it might take me 2 years, or whatever it is, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it my own way. And maybe I'm going to keep my job. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just going to take the course and say, I'm going to go out there and do it, or not even take the course and just go out there and do it. And, but I'm going to find the people that inspire me and empower me. and also help me to feel good while I'm trying it. And I think, they always say that, try to stay away from toxic people, right? And you
Absolutely.
don't realize it until you're in that situation and you realize, wait a minute, if they say, oh, you can't do this, what are you, nuts? Like one more time, that's not the person you want to be around. You are the reflection of the 5 people that you spend the most time
Yes.
with, right?
Right.
And you do want to be around, positive people, and you want to be around people that encourage you, and you want to be around people that make you feel good about what you're doing and
Exactly.
what you're trying. And I think, that is happiness at the end of the day.
You know, it's exactly it, is to be with people that are interesting for you, people that are like-minded, people that, I don't even know how to say this word in English, but you probably know it in Hebrew. Mefargen, lefargen. I don't think there's even a word. That are happy for you. When you're
Right.
happy, they're happy for you.
Right.
So
So they make you feel like you're deserving of this.
exactly. And I heard
It's
Brené
that
Brown
sort of like
once.
your own worthiness, that you have to accept your own worthiness. You have to live, by it and be happy and know that you are worthy. And maybe this isn't the perfect thing, but maybe the next thing
Right.
is, and it's not easy to do every day. It takes a lot of, it takes courage, it takes confidence, but it also takes some practice, and it takes just trying it and going for it.
And I think you need to be really, to believe really in what you do. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but if you don't, and people are going to move you from that, right? But if
That's
you
your
know
bigger
what you want,
why. That's if you have that bigger why, if you have that,
exactly.
I'm doing this because I truly believe that it's for me in this. I believe that it's important for women to go for what they believe in. So for me, having the opportunity to share people's different ways of doing it, and having them understand that there is no one way, there is no one process, that there are many ways, but just go for it. Take that action, take that first step, take that first leap. You can do this. That's my bigger why,
It's
right?
true. It's true. But I want to say also one more thing, Karen. It took me 25 years to do it. It didn't take me a day. People say, oh, you decide and then you go for it. No, no. That's what you see, right?
It's the
You only
culmination
see
of
the
all
tip of
those
the iceberg. You
experiences,
don't
right?
see all these years that I was
Right.
looking and thinking, will I not? So it's okay, if some women out there want to make the change, but they feel, oh my God, I'm not like her. I can't do what she's doing. You don't know what we do. You only see the tip of the iceberg. You
Right.
didn't see the 25 years, that I was reading and thinking, yes, no, and people, right? So take the time. It doesn't matter how long it takes. And it's not
Right.
something that you say a leap that, from here to there, I did it. It's a process.
Right.
And one day you'll feel that you can leave where you are now and proceed. But I mean, you're probably going to hold on for a long time,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And I heard Brené Brown, she said something that I really liked in one of her talks. She says, the people that criticize her now, she's telling them, if you're not in the arena, I don't care what you say. So if you're sitting there in the cheap seats, right, and tell me what I need to do and how I need to do it, I'm not interested. It's not that I don't want to hear criticism, but I want you to be in the arena as well so that I will listen to you. So
Right.
all these people, the righteous people that just sit out there and tell you,
Oh, nah, you shouldn't
nah,
do it.
ignore, ignore, ignore.
Right. So I love what you're doing. I think that I really admire the fact that you're doing it, and I have other friends that are part of this alumni group, and I think it's
Right.
fantastic. And I think that having community, whatever your community is just so important. And I do think, whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert, it doesn't really matter. But being with people that you can relate to, that are like-minded, that believe in the same kinds of things that you do, and that want to be supportive of each other is just
Mhm.
so important. And everything I've heard about the community that you are building is that it's really supportive,
Yes.
and that people really care about each other, and they go out of their way to help each other, and to listen and to understand. And in this day and age, I think that is just so important.
They're all
And
volunteers.
congratulations.
We have 25, almost 25 volunteers that work. And sometimes I think, why are people doing that? So much more than I thought. I'm the one telling them, it's the weekend now. I want you to stop, right? You have a
Because they
life.
love it, because it makes them happy, right?
Yes. Yeah, because when you give, you receive.
Hmm.
And we know it, and this is a major part of happiness is giving and being kind to each other, and accepting each other and helping. So it's all about that. So we really walk the talk.
Well, they've experienced the value, and I mean, and it's changed their life.
Yeah.
So their goal, I would assume from, what you're saying and what I've heard, is that they want to give back and have other people feel the same,
Yeah.
feel that internal, energy and goodness that they feel. And
It's like when you buy something and or you went to a really great restaurant. The first thing you want is to tell all your friends, "Oh my God, you
share
have
it.
to go there,
Exactly.
right? You have to go to my masseuse. He's the best." This is just the way we are. We want other people to be happy because at the end of the day, happiness is contagious.
Yeah, it's funny. I always consider myself a resource person. People come to me and say, "Oh, where can I get this or where can I do that?" And I had to really think about it. What is it about it that makes me, love doing that? And I get to see the smile on their face
Yeah.
when they experience what I experienced.
Isn't
And
it so
that's,
simple at the end of the day?
yeah, that's my joy, that they have a great experience. And, that's why I consider myself an architect of experiences,
Yeah.
because I want people to have a great experience, and I want them to walk away, and I want them to feel good about, what they just did or what they just saw, or, who they just met, whatever that situation is. And if
And
they're
to be
happy,
aware.
I'm happy, right?
Yeah, right. And to be aware, of the little things, because at the end of the day, what is happiness? If it's not those little things, those little moments, every time that I teach a course, and I'm going to do a spoiler now for people that didn't do my course now, but it's a spoiler. I'm asking them to send me pictures of what is happiness for you. Okay. It can be, being on my hammock. It can be on the beach. It can be, I always say the
With their
clean.
dog, right?
It can be my dog. It can be food. It can be, and then I take all these pictures and I create a movie. And we see that nobody put their Porsche in that picture. Nobody put their certificate or the PhD. Nobody ever sent me that. All the pictures are always family, kids, um, beautiful moments that we will remember, a lot of nature,
Mm-hmm.
okay, food and wine with friends. Because this is really what it is. If I could
Right.
take a picture of the smell of the house when I come, after it's been cleaned and the smell. So really it's the little things in life that we ignore, that we are oblivious to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this club and everybody, we have 170, more than 170 members in a month now.
That's
And
great.
I never expected it. Seriously,
So
I never expected it.
if people want to join, or they want to, or they want to be in contact with you, where should we send them?
Oh, okay. So the website is hsabusinessclub.com.
Okay.
Okay. And my email, you can always email my personal email is my name, tamarmuller@gmail.com. Or just go to Happiness Studies Academy. You'll have all the information there. I really, really recommend it. It's a life-changing. And I think that, we all want to be doing something that makes us feel good. Why not? Right?
Right.
So I invite everybody, to join the course, go learn, join us, and it's a trickling effect. It's the butterfly effect.
That's so great. Well, I feel so fortunate to have met you. I know I want to meet you in person. I mean, that goes without saying. And I look forward to many more conversations. And I really genuinely appreciate you being here and sharing your story today with other women who are thinking about taking that leap, and who are thinking about, I'm scared, or I'm tired, or I don't know if I should do this, or, but why not? Go for it, right?
Right. So I really want to reiterate, it's okay. I was also scared and I was also tired. It's not like, that I put my hair on, like, okay, it's so easy, just change your life. No, it's not easy. Okay.
Right.
It's not easy. But if anybody who's listening now wants to discuss it, wants to talk about it, please, by all means, contact me. You can contact me on Instagram, on Facebook, on my email. I'll
Right.
be
And
very
and I
happy.
will share that and I will be posting actually this video A on Instagram and B on my website, as well as on YouTube going forward. So you'll have
Wonderful.
plenty of links to be able to find you, Tami. So thank you again for being on
Thank you,
Taking the
Karen.
Leap today.
Thank
It's
you.
fantastic to meet you. I know you've inspired me, and I have a feeling you've inspired many other women as well. So thanks for being here. Great to see you. and great to have this conversation with
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you for
everyone.
everybody that watched and
So
is
yeah,
mindful.
we have another one this week on Thursday. And that's actually with someone else who's living in Miami. Maybe you
Oh,
guys will
really?
have to meet. Her name is Dina Aronson, and she is living in Miami Beach, actually. And she'll be on Thursday at 7 p.m. And then next Tuesday and Thursday as well. So we're trying to do these on Tuesday and Thursday. For now, they're on Instagram. There will be some that will be on LinkedIn as well. Check the times. I'll be posting them on Instagram. They're on my website. The entire schedule is up there. And I look forward to many more conversations. So thanks for being on Taking the Leap today. And thanks
Thank you,
everyone for
Karen.
joining us. Have a
Thank you
great
for your
day. And
mission. Thank you so much.
22222, an amazing number. So
2
make the
o'clock.
best of the day. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye,
Bye bye.
Tammy. Take care.
Thanks.